children. We need to protect children. And I'll bring a very simple something that happened globally. We had that Paris Olympic opening. There's this child, lives a girl, who was among men, biological men, dressed as women. Facts. And that child, being among men, biological men, dressed as women, should never have been there. Someone mature should have walked and removed that child. Whoever the parents were should never have allowed that child there. Whoever was doing the filming should not have filmed it. They should have said, stop, remove that child. And then they can deal with their biological men dressed as women, do whatever they are doing. I'll never call that movement what they want to call it. I'll call a man, you have a biological man, a biological man. You have a biological woman, a biological woman. Simple. These other taglines and caveats on top, now we don't do that. We won't buy into that agenda. That we don't do. But there's something about that child. Globally, that child was there. Nobody stepped and removed that child from there. If you go relook that clip severally, you realize one of these biological men, at some point, I think it's at a corner, the child is like in front. I think there's a little girl, I think, in front, and this guy's like, I think, back, and then literally moved his genitalia. Literally. If you go and relook that clip severally, you will notice it. What was a little girl doing among grown men in a global event, and nobody had the maturity to walk up there and remove that child? You know what happened? You know the sad story that we were telling children all over the world? We won't protect you. Because no one protected that child. And someone will say, but no, as a child, what do you know? As a child, you wanted to be a pirate, you wanted to be this. Then you grew up, then you realize, no, I don't want a black eye on my left, I don't want, The thing, everything you wanted to be Spider-Man as a child, You grow up, you realize, oh, this business of running from roof to roof, I'll break a leg, I'll break a neck, or whatever it is. Police and robber wanted to play the robber. You realize, oh, there's something called a bullet. There's something called ankle bracelet. There's something called prison. There's something called don't drop the soap. You understand? You grew up. So that child was never supposed to be. But no one did anything about it. The child was left there, and the event was demonic from beginning, ended demonic. Done. What was told to the other children who watched that day? Who's protecting them? So someone will say, this agenda of men dressed as women, I started the other day. No. I needed to go back. If you ever watched Powerpuff Girls, Cartoon Network, go and look at a particular one, a particular character who was called Him, H-I-M. The character would dress red, but it was a man. Remember, even the name is Him. Pronouns, already we started the problem right there. And then the pronoun, him, would dress as a woman, but the color was red. And every time this him character would speak, if you're a kid, you'd feel, and every time you see that character, you'll want to like switch. But what were they doing to us as kids? Desensitize. That is many years back, right? 2 decades maybe. Right now, 2024, we see it in Paris, literally before our eyes. Okay. Let's go further. If no one protects the children, who protects them? Are you telling me that there were no child rights activists, child rights anything, who could have stepped out and even sue and hold accountable who was the parents and the whole crew that filmed that child among grown biological men? Nothing happened to that child, right? So all the other kids who are victim of child trafficking, what have they been told by that message? No one will protect you. Because that child, someone should have matured enough and walked out and say, hey, you men, this is a child, we won't entertain. Nothing was done. So the event started, the event ended. And these are the things we need to start having conversations. You see, politics, sports, celebrities, and any other thing will always be there rotating. And sadly, they'll always be used as something to help us not see what's happening behind the scenes. Children are in danger every second of their existence. If you look at scripture, what was Molech given? The idol, the fallen angel, whatever. What were they given? Children. Why children? Purity. Why purity? Because children are innocent, their blood and all that stuff. Fine. So we now have this thing whereby people are scary, where when the kids are oft, they're taken out, and then in the whole, plus the ones who are aborted, they're grinded, and some of the cream is created so people can get young. Sandra Bullock, I think it was Sandra Bullock, yeah, who actually mentioned a cream and literally went to the details about it. One of the show, you do your own research. It should be, I think should have been her. If it's not Sandra Bullock, Sandra, I remember, it's one of those celebrities. They literally mentioned it. And she's not the only one. And that's a cream. And their perfumes. But part of the ingredients are these little kids. Not conversations we want to have. Are our children safe wherever they are? When you want to take a child to a washroom, supermarket, mall, airport, just a general place, do you know how careful you need to be? Even in that washroom that you want to take them. If you are a father and you have a daughter, you have to now think which lady will take for you. And you have to be very careful, because when these kids are in those washrooms, there's someone waiting for them. Or when you're having a meal and leave the kids to go and play, there's someone targeting them. You will notice it. You'll see a couple with a child. You don't know if this is their child or someone's child has been kidnapped. Or a lady or a gentleman will approach you and have like a direction, something of a conversation, and your kids may be on the left-hand plane, gone. And in this era of smartphones, people are so much stuck on their phones. Kids, no one is noticing them. They'll be playing in a child's playground, and little did you know the kid is gone. It's a split second. Or someone will be knocking your gate and say, oh, I need ABCD. And then you leave your child at the gate, and when you come back, the child is gone. Where the world is becoming darker, and as they are targeting children, you need to be very careful. From the moment you're pregnant, you are a target. From the people close to you to the ones who are to the delivery and afterwards, children are in danger. And you must up your game. You must be alert. Go and watch. You have the Cocomelon with the LGBTQ, the agendas. You go watch any of these shows. And I challenge you to go and rewatch these shows. And I challenge you to take 30 minutes, put your phone aside, choose one of the programs your child likes to watch, and I want you to watch it. And I need you to take that 30 minutes. Don't take an hour. Put your phone aside and watch what they are watching. In fact, look for the one they love the most. Sit down and watch. Also, you be the child that day. I promise you, in 30 minutes, I've not told you 1 hour. I've told you 30 minutes. You will not be comfortable. But your kid will be watching it for hours. On replay. Next episode, new episode, new episode, new episode, new episode. You see, they don't really need to go to, if you have a subscription, so you have this social media platform, so it's everywhere. And now with the algorithms with social media platforms, you need to be very careful. Whether they tick to the talk, whether it's IG, whichever, the algorithms are super strong. So if you press the wrong thing, you like or comment or something, you get those feeds. So what do you think your child is watching? Schools, whether public or private schools. The schools that have been built pre-colonial era and the newly built ones, you need to be very careful and understand the architectural designs. 3/4 of these schools, sadly, have other exit doors. And that's why you'll have a kid in class, even it's 20 kids, one will just be missing. And then next time another, they miss and they come back. So, but what has happened in this 1 or 2 hours to that child? Sad. Let's look at kids right now nowadays. When kids are playing, in Swahili we'll say chamaman chababa, that is father and it's like playing family. That is mother and father kind of games. What do the kids end up playing? Sex. Okay. So what happens? They say, let me see what mommy or daddy did, or uncle or brother or whatever. And then they start doing it. Now, if your child is very cautious and reserved, and that boy has been trained aggressive, was from a very dysfunctional family, from the context of domestic abuse, that child will understand, because every time dad hits mom, domestic violence, mom gives dad in the bedroom. So the child has conceptualized this, that every time there's a fist or an altercation, the reception is intimacy. So this child will come and play with your child, and this is happening between kids who are 5 years, above 5 years, or a girl of 5 years and a child of 2 years. It's happening. These cases are there. And the 5-year-old, because they saw it, they go experimented on the 2-year-old. And it's scary because these are between little cousins. These are between neighbors. This is when they have gone to play their games time, when no one is watching. You need to be very alert. We can't sleep. We have to up our game. And someone will say, well, I don't have a kid, it's not my problem. So let me put it like this. That child whom you're watching being abused or could be abused, that child will grow to be a grown-up, dysfunctional grown-up. Let's say you one time have a child. Remember that child you never protected, now is a dysfunctional child, now is a dysfunctional man or woman. Remember you have a kid? See that dysfunctional character? Welcome for that child who's yours. Then we'll see how bad it is when we don't stop these things when we still can. Someone will say, our government agencies are doing it. I challenge you to go to, whether it's a police station, where there are child agencies, and ask the right questions about children. And most of the time they'll just, we are chana na yo. In Swahili, for example, they'll tell chana na yo maneno. In other words, leave that issue alone. What does it concern? Is it your problem? Because the sad part, the protectors are the traffickers. You think I'm lying? Go do your own research. Choose random place, go. How many times these cases? Teachers, house managers, that nanny, you pay them, that nanny is there with your child 24/7, and let's say it's nanny could be male, well, female most of the time, female. You have your little boy, and this woman starts thinking, let me start experimenting. You think they won't experiment on your child? Or you think they don't do it? You need to be very careful. And you need to be very cautious. You need to be very cautious with those protecting your child. And for those ones who have, more employees, where you have the gardener, you have this. You need to be very careful. You need to be very cautious. You need to be very alert. You can't sleep. Sometimes someone will come and say they are buying something at your gate, and they knock, and you leave your child there 1 minute, 1 second, the child is gone. And with this wickedness that is going on, the occultism and all this nonsense, who think is their target? The child. Why do you think they're hunting our kids? Why do you think kids are such a target? Because once they corrupt them when they're young and destroy them, they're dysfunctional. So we have a dysfunctional society. And now every child born from that moment is a target. Because once you destroy these children, they are weaponized. And when they are weaponized, they are horror. We need to protect children at all costs, even if it means it costs your life for that child to live. Because the world has become creepy, scary every second. Remember, when there is a war, there's something you'll always realize. When there are so many NGOs in a country, you need to question them. You need to do your own research. Just because they say they protect kids, you really need to do your own digging. Do they really protect those kids? Or are they part of the problem? Charity organizations, you need to do your digging. Stop saying, oh, because you see there's funding. Do your research. Because a lot is going on behind the scenes. Children are in danger every second, from the moment they are in their mother's womb to the moment they are out there. And because some people have not handled trauma and they don't want to go through the healing, these children are the ones who are being targeted. So what happens when you have a society of abused children? No one to show them direction. What do you think they'll do when they become leaders? What policies do you think they will come up with? What evil do you think they'll come up with? So we need to be very keen and cautious of our environments. Don't say it's not my child. You need to be keen on your environment. You need to watch, protect these children. Protect them to the best that you can. If escalate a case until it reaches where justice has been done. Because when we don't protect them, these little children one day will be so broken, others will hunt you down. Those who are addicted to pornography, some of those women that you are watching are trafficked. Some of them were kids trafficked, and they were moved from one cycle to another cycle to another cycle. So when you're busy satisfying yourself, you're satisfying yourself under a child who was defiled right before even others, before your own eyes. So you watching that debauchery is you promoting child trafficking. And those are the facts. So we need to make sure we protect children at all costs. We need to keep alert. Nowadays, look at the way school buses are being driven. You're thinking it's a rally. Kids waking up, 5 a.m., 4 a.m., 30. Where are they going? School. Which school? To learn what at that time? Child should sleep. Go to school at the time that's appropriate. But we bombard them. And then when they want attention with their parents or those guardians, I'm busy with my phone, I'm busy with that. You know what they're going to do? They'll go to that phone or that gadget, and some creep on the other end will be the one telling them the things that you should have told them. You never told them you love them. The creep out there will be telling them you love them. Kids need to be told to an extent where you tell them, yes, I, as your guardian, love you. But the world out there, you need to teach them safety in their home. Don't take sweets from strangers. Don't let anyone, if anyone says I am ABCD, refuse. If someone knocks at the door and I'm not there, don't open. Safety. Teach your children safety. Crowded places. Avoiding crowded places. We need to be very keen and cautious with the environment. Kids must be protected. It's non-negotiable. When there is a war, what's the one thing we come to learn when there are wars in a country? Children disappear a lot. Where do these kids go to? When there's illegal immigration and illegal immigrants come with their kids, the kids disappear. So they dupe the illegal immigrant. Oh, you come. Oh, you come. But when they come, kids are gone, never to be seen again. Kids are thrown into the streets. They're into most of these houses. You don't even know what happen in people's houses. You'll see someone driving and with kids, and you're thinking, no, that's okay. That's a good family. We need to. Even when you go to church, when you ask sometimes when different church leaders, you tell them to support like the children, means no. You know why? It's just good to say, oh, we have kids. So everybody knows we have kids. But the nitty-gritties, if there is someone coming to teach and all those things, your problem. So the problem is everywhere. But you could be the change to protect that little soul who can't protect themselves. So let's not allow a Paris Olympic situation to any other child wherever we are. Because what happened there was a key that was given to grown men and grown women, biological, claiming to be the opposite gender, to hunt down our children, to hunt down our nephews, our nieces. And you might not say it's not your problem until you are the victim, until that little child tells you the story. Sit with teachers in most of these schools, the ones in kindergarten, and listen to the kind of conversation they'll tell you they hear among children. It can drive you crazy. So let's protect children at whatever cost. If an issue it is, let's escalate it. The same way we rise up and say we are anti this, anti that, same we should do for our children. Because what's there how important do you think your life is with all your property and all these things, and your child is there, messed up, abused, because you're so busy putting, grinding, getting that money, but someone was abusing your child. Protect children. Every environment, vet everyone. Your siblings, your cousins, everyone. Trust no one with your child. This thing that you're seeing nowadays, where someone is on any social media live, and then they say, look at my kid, I've gone to do this, and strangers are telling these kids, oh, don't jump. What do you think you are doing? When you're not keen on what those kids are watching, giving a child, a minor, a smartphone. Even us adults, we are still confused understanding this algorithm business. So if I'm still confused understanding it, what do you think is happening to a child? And if I'm scared already with the algorithms that I'm seeing right now, what thing is happening? We have AI kind of things. We have deepfakes happening right now. Then we have the creeps in these dark webs. When you post in your child, what do you think they are doing? Protect your child. Don't put your child out there. Don't put your pregnant belly out there. Protect children at all costs. Because at the end of the day, you will be accountable before God. And it won't be, there'll be no knowing. Protect them when you still have a chance, even if it will cost you. And let me not lie to you. Anyone who goes down this path of protecting kids, you're always a target. Because people want to do their evil things. And if they never removed that little child from the Paris Olympic, when the whole world watched, so what's going to happen the next 4 years, the next Paris Olympic, the next Olympic? What's going to happen next? God help us. Protect children. Doesn't matter what faith or religion you believe in. Protect children at all costs. At all costs. And train them as young as they are to understand different things. Even if they are conversant with technology, teach them to be able to identify, build a trust, build something where these children will be able to come back to you as a guardian or as an elder who they trust, or as whoever you are in authority. Protect children at all costs. Please, at all costs. Don't let that child be a victim of abuse because you're too comfortable in your flesh. Protect children, whatever it takes. God help us all. May God be with those children, wherever they are, in their mother's womb and outside there. God protect them all.